Hi, sweeties. Today we are making these big baseball-sized crab cakes, the ultimate crab cake recipe. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let's get into it. I'm gonna dice up some red pepper, pretty fine because we don't want big chunks of pepper in our finished crab cake. And let me show you this knife for a second. This is the Equinox 8-inch chef's knife. I got this on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description box for this, but I really like this knife. It cuts like a dream. Look at that. Lightweight, and it's well made. It's German steel, but made in China, and it's really inexpensive. This, at the time I purchased it, was $10.99. I mean, the price will, vary, but that's how much I paid for it. And I've been using it for a while now, and I gotta say, I really like it. And I have a thing about knives. You always want a nice, sharp knife. It makes life so much easier in the kitchen. So I do recommend checking out this knife. Now let's get that onion diced. We cut it through the end and then just cut some lines down. Make sure you keep those fingers tucked under so you don't cut yourself. Saute those peppers and onions in a little bit of oil, and those are going to cook down and lose a lot of their volume. I'll show you that in just a minute. Now you can see how much the onions and peppers cooked down as the moisture of the water is starting to cook out of it. It's really lost a lot of its volume. We're going to let that go for a bit more. Now scrape it into a bowl and let it cool off. Cool it now. You got to cool it now. Ooh, watch out. Our sauteed peppers and onions have completely cooled. Now let's get on with the crab meat. I'm using 2 pounds of sweet jumbo lump crab meat, and you just want to gently check for any bit of cartilage, sharp hard parts that are in there, but you don't want to break apart those beautiful lumps of crab meat. That's 1 pound. Let's go ahead and add the 2nd pound. Look at that. That's so beautiful. So gently kind of just search through for any cartilage or hard parts of shell. Oh, that feels pretty good. I'm going to eat this piece. So sweet. So sweet. Okay, now, I'm not going to add a lot of filler to this. We're going to put about 1/2 cup of panko breadcrumbs and about 1/4 cup of mayonnaise in there. And then for seasoning, most people use Old Bay. I mean, if you want your crab cakes to taste like most people's crab cakes, then that's fine. You can use your Old Bay seasoning. I'm going to use my house seasoning. I'll put a link to that recipe in the description box, but it's so good. Salt, pepper, paprika, a little lemon. It's going to be good. Not too much because we don't want to overpower that beautiful crab. And then we're just going to mix it together, toss it together gently. Now it's time to form our crab cakes. We're going to make great big round crab cakes like this. Yeah, we're not playing around. We want some nice, big, juicy crab bombs. So form your crab cakes, pressing them together. That's about the size of a baseball. And then we're going to bake these. A little more in that one. I mean, that looks good already. And because they don't have a lot of filler in there, you got to be real delicate when handling these crab cakes. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I mean, look how big they are. See the size of my head? That's the size of a baseball. But please do not throw it. I will not be held responsible for y'all throwing these gorgeous crab bombs at people. Let's chill these for a bit. And that will give the chance for the panko breadcrumbs to soften and act as more of a binder. Because if we don't put any binder in there, these will just fall apart as we handle it. Now, if you want to do this gluten-free, then instead of using panko breadcrumbs, find a delicious gluten-free cracker, like a plain cracker, and use that. But be mindful, those crackers will probably have salt on there, so adjust the seasonings to taste. Now we're going to take some butter that has melted and cooled and squeeze in some fresh lemon juice, catching those seeds with our fingers. Now we're going to stir that butter in and baste those crab cakes with the melted butter and lemon mixture. Then we're going to pop it in a hot oven and bake them. The recipe will be in a link in the description box, so you will know exactly. Those crab cakes are out of the oven, golden brown, looking tasty. We're going to be very careful with them because they can fall apart real easily, very easily. You just want to get them warm. You don't have to cook them until they're super hot because you don't want them to turn out mushy. So these are about 90 degrees on the inside. Now we're going to plate up our dish. We've got I think this was, called it a sumo. I think it might be like a satsuma or something. You could just use an orange. I just happened to be in Whole Foods and was trying to be bougie. You know how it can be. So we're going to peel that skin off and then take some sections out like that. Gently so we don't break them. And then up like that. Careful of your fingers. Oops, that has a little pith on it. We want to take that off. Isn't that pretty? Oops, starting to get a little ragged. All right, there we go. Then we'll do the avocado. It's nice. Carefully take that pit out. Ooh, that is nice and ripe. Please always wash your avocado because when you cut through the skin, you can drag bacteria through to that avocado, and salmonella has been reported on some avocado skin, so please be very careful with that. Now to plate that dish, I'm going to take some pre-made sweet chili sauce and just kind of pour that around. And then we'll put some avocado around. Layer some orange segments around as well. Put that in there. Make it nice and pretty. So sadly, one of the crab cakes started to fall apart, but don't worry, it's going to be eaten. Don't you worry about that. The rest of them are good to go. And we'll gently drop that crab cake there in the center. I think that's really pretty. All right, time to serve. For another plating option, if you don't want to section those oranges like that, you can just peel it and slice it. Drizzle some sweet chili sauce on a plate. Put some avocado. Your crab cake. Front and center is the star of the show. Oh, and that is it. Man, this good eating. Let me take a taste for you. Hang on. Okay, look. Let me show you that. Listen, let me tell you. It's easy, but it's a real showstopper. The ultimate crab cake. You should be so jealous right now. This is incredible. You're going to want to make this. Get the recipe. Full recipe is on my blog. I'll see you guys later. I'm going to finish eating. Bye.